ready for this?
You ready?
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Welcome to Envision Broadcasting, the station designed to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success. Presents Thrive Talk with TKT, a show that shares the stories and experiences of motherhood, entrepreneurship, leadership, and success. Thrive Talk with TKT begins now.
Hello, thank you for joining us once again. You are listening to Thrive Talk with TKT. I am one of your hosts, Dr. Tracy Hines Lashley. We have Coach K and Miss Myers. And we have a special guest with us today. Her name is Denise Murphy. So I am the CEO and founder of Bossed Up Leaders Incorporated, a nonprofit. We're a 501c3. So if you care to donate, go to our site, bossedupleadhers.org. And Miss Karen Hines, Coach K.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am so happy to be here today and having our wonderful and beautiful guest. I am so happy to hear her story and learn from her. And I'm also the COO of Bossed Up Leaders, Tiffany Myers.
Hello, everyone. I am Tiffany Myers, the CFO of Bossed Up Leaders. I'm excited for you guys to be here to hear this excellent story. It's so informational. So I hope you're ready.
All right, Miss Denise.
Yes.
Tell us about yourself.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Denise Murphy. I'm the founder and CEO of DPM Financial LLC here in beautiful downtown Fayetteville, North Carolina. I also have another business, Square Biz Services, which is a graphic design business. Now, just to tell you a little bit about my background, I'm originally from Philadelphia. Go Eagles!
Oh, no, ma'am. We ain't doing that.
Cut the mic.
Cowboys.
I knew I'd get in trouble with that one. but no. I'm married to an Air Force veteran. I have one son and one daughter and 2.5 granddaughters. You say, what do you mean 2.5 granddaughters? Well, I have a granddaughter who will be here this time next month. That's how. I guess that's a little more than 2.5. But and then my oldest granddaughter is 21, and my other granddaughter is 2 years old. And then she's the one who's about to have a baby sister. And so in about a week, I'm going to Maryland to be with my son and daughter-in-law and my grandbaby and my new grandbaby on the way. And I'm going to be there for 6 weeks. And I thank God for entrepreneurship, because if I was working on the corporate plantation, I wouldn't be able to take off that time. So I'm thankful for that. Now, as far as my background is concerned, I have a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering Technology that I earned from Colorado Technical University. When my husband was in the military, we, naturally, as many of you know, got shipped from here and there. So every time we were at a base or an installation, I'd take a few courses here and there. So finally, when we got to Colorado Springs, I was there long enough to gather all my courses from the other 4 universities I'd attended and buckle down and focus on a technical field and earn my degree. So that started my career in the corporate world. I started my professional career working for Hewlett Packard in Mountain View, California. And I worked with them for about 10, 15 years. I've had, 13 years total was my IT experience in the public sector. Then things happened, life got in the way, we shifted gears, moved across the country a few times, landed here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where I started working for the Department of Defense, also in IT, an IT career. However, because my corporate journey was sketchy, basically I was following my husband around all those years. I always had a quote unquote side hustle. And so that's how I started. And but rather than just, and this is what fit for me, because I always had a love for math and science and, numbers and finances and things like that. So I got my mortgage broker license when I was in California and went off as an independent mortgage broker, started my independent mortgage broker business. Around that time, though, my husband, who had just gotten out of the military but was working for civil service, we got caught up in a base closure situation in California. So I had to give up my mortgage business in California and come to North Carolina because he was following his job, and basically start over. And so at that time, I got my insurance license because that seemed like something that I could do independent, and it worked out pretty good. It filled in the gaps. And then like I said, I eventually went back to IT with the federal government. But all along, I never gave up my entrepreneurship. I would, make sure that my continuing education was always current so that I could always, flip on the dime if I needed to go back to my entrepreneurial career as opposed to the 9 to 5. So for several years, I did them both. Naturally, I did the entrepreneur or the insurance business part-time. There are several companies who allow you to write policies part-time, just as long as you're, within compliance and you keep your credentials up. And so I made sure that I did that. However, naturally, it came to a point where it just got to be too overwhelming trying to do both or trying to do everything. That's just two of the jobs that I had. Naturally, I was a mother, a wife, a daughter. My parents' health, was starting to, as they got older, was starting to fail them. And so anyway, it just got to a point 2 years ago when with the mounting pressures of my 9 to 5 IT job in the federal government. And so I just had to make a choice. And so that's when I decided, like I was telling Tracy earlier, or Dr. Lashley earlier, I looked at the numbers because I'm a numbers person. And once I realized that I could retire, get my pension, Social Security, and still work my entrepreneurial insurance business, I was off to the races. Once I realized that in less than 30 days, I put in my retirement papers and haven't looked back. Well, actually, I've looked back to say maybe I should have done it sooner. But so I hope I'm not babbling here, but that's just kind of the, my journey from, when I married oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this. My husband, he was my high school sweetheart. We've known each other all of our lives, just about. And so that's how I got from there to here, where I am now. So,
I have to ask a question because people don't stay married anymore. What keeps you together? What makes you want to stay in the marriage? Like, what's keeping you guys whole? And do you have a lot of fun?
Wow. Okay. But
hey, you put it out there. I just want to know. How do you
don't
do
let
it?
anybody tell you that it's all wine and roses. Because that there are ups and downs. I think the what in our particular situation, the fact that we we both grew up in Philadelphia. I love Philadelphia. We both loved Philadelphia, but we both by the time we were in high school, we both knew that we weren't going to stay in Philadelphia, and so we had a joint dream. From the start. And so we went off, on our own, basically, after we got married soon as we got married, we were at another station. We were in Ohio. And so if you, we had to learn in order to survive. We had to depend on each other. We didn't have family. Family was, 10 hours away. And so we had to establish, first of all, and well, let me see. Then my daughter came along about a year later after we moved. And so, we had to on her, we had to shield her from all hurt, harm, and danger, no matter what. So no matter what the personal cost, protect that baby. So that's kind of where it stems from. And then we just, that whatever didn't break us made us stronger. And I don't know, getting teary-eyed. Reflecting on it.
I hear that it's like work all the time. You have to fall in love with each other daily.
It is. You have to renew it. You can't.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'd be lying if I said, we never had any struggles, but we always, tried to work out the struggle. And so my husband, and he's the type of person that, because like I said, when we were in high school making plans, 5 years from now, we're going to do this and I'm going to do this. And I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. He's never tried to hold me back. He always encouraged me and lifted me up. And him. And, some relationships, and I hate to be, sound, or paint everybody with the same brush. But a lot of men, unfortunately, they're threatened by a woman, of equal, they're a merger of equals. They don't, the only way they can feel big is to make you feel small. Well, my husband was never like that. He was always pushing me. Sometimes I got my degree before he did. When we were in Colorado, he said, no, because I was there, I was working, in a clerical field. And he said, no, just, you're doing okay. Quit your job. Go to school. Finish school, get your education, and don't get an okie doke. Get your engineering degree. That way you can take care of me. He would have been happy being a house husband. But then he actually got his engineering degree after I did, and we just took turns supporting each other. And that's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The secret is, the first secret is two things: mutual respect and communication. Those two things are, without those, everything else is a foundation of sand. So without those two strong borders. So, okay.
Yeah, I had to ask that question because I know a lot of women would want to hear that answer. Especially when you put out how long you guys have been together. Well, you didn't say how many years, but yeah, since high school.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And it's funny because when I well, not even now, but when I'd been married like maybe 10 years or so, and people would say, "Oh, you've been married 10 years. How can you possibly still love somebody that you loved 10 years ago?" Or, and guilting me like something's wrong with me. Like, what's wrong with you? But I said, hey, to each his own. This happened for me. Maybe, it's not going to happen for everybody. And I'm not, maybe just stars were just aligned right, such that it worked. But don't. I'm not going to demonize anybody for not staying in a relationship because nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. So everybody's situation is equal, but at the same time, I'm not going to condemn you, Mary Sue. So don't condemn me. The implication was you must be, desperate or stupid, to be with somebody that you knew back then, and you've grown. I said, well, I'd like to think that we've grown together.
Oh, you gonna make me start crying. That is awesome.
Well,
I know you mentioned you had several companies, and I heard you say graphic design.
Square Biz Graphic Design or Square Biz Services, and it's the focus is on business consulting and graphic design. For the most part, in the print media, things like branding, logos. Let me see. I should know this off the top of my head, right?
Well, there's so much to it.
Because we do have a lot. Actually, I do have a list of services here. Let me see if I no, I don't. But print media, your business card. I do branding packages where I do business cards, flyers, maybe a logo, a website, and things like that. And then with my granddaughter, my 21-year-old granddaughter, she's now got me into the merch side. So we do
Wow.
shirts and hoodies and and cups and mugs and now with COVID-19 we just added masks, customized masks, with your brand identity on logos and things like that on them, or anything you want. Another area we're expanding into is children's clothes. With my grandkids, it just came up, well, why don't I do onesies? You do T-shirts for adults. Why not do onesies for kids? So we just started doing onesies about a month ago, for newborns and T-shirts for toddlers. And, it's just amazing once you start down the road and then you just let your mind, you take the blinders off and then so many ideas come to you. And my granddaughter, my 21-year-old granddaughter, Taylor, if you're out there, she keeps me inspired, in the know. So,
wow, that is awesome. Family business for real.
Yep.
And then you can see the growth, like she said, how she started off here, and now she has the brand and the logo, and now she's incorporated the clothing side of all the merchandise, and now we have the toddlers, not just adults. I mean, that is a growing business, and I like that because that's what I try to teach people. Even if you start your business out one way, you want to always be able to adapt to the times, to the changes, to economics, whatever's going on. And so my question would be, because I have a company called Passion Getaways, and my coaching is Life Passion Academy. To hear the things that you've done, I want to know what drives your passion. What are you passionate about that have made you create your businesses and become an entrepreneur and stick with it?
Okay. Well, excuse me. A couple of things, but actually, before I answer that question, let me tell you a little about the my other business, because that was my initial passion. DTM Financial LLC. So it's a financial services company. I'm a licensed insurance broker. I'm licensed in 6 different states. So for life insurance, health insurance, annuities, and various other financial services products. Now, what inspires me and what continues to inspire me, I think more than anything else, is the lack of financial literacy in this country. I mean, children come out of high school and they're sitting ducks for the loan sharks, for the payday lenders. They mess the student. They're coming out of college with student loan debt through the ceiling, and then the credit card companies are preying on them. I couldn't believe this. The credit card companies are on campus selling, signing these kids up for credit cards. They don't even have a job. They're going to come out of college with student loan debt, as if that's not bad enough. They're going to have credit card debt. How do you get ahead when the deck is stacked so much against you, out the gate? And so my passion is, and this is, I'm a certified financial educator, and my goal is to scream from the rooftops, financial literacy. Don't get into credit card debt if you can help it. Know what your credit score is. They teach the Pythagorean theorem. I'm an engineering student. They teach the Pythagorean theorem to everybody who's not even to general education students. But they don't teach how to balance a checkbook or how to, the rule of 72, how if you divide your interest rate by 72, that tells you how long it takes for your money to double. Compounding interest, how it can work for you if you're getting it, but against you if you're paying it. Things like this, fundamental financial principles that just aren't taught. And I think it's an insidious plan, and maybe call me a conspiracy theorist, but I think it's because we're taught, okay, get a good job, or go to school, go to college, get a good job, and they're training you to be an employee. They're not training you to be an entrepreneur. They're not training you to use your mind. And if COVID hasn't taught us anything else, it should have taught us that we need to be in control of our destiny. How many people are out work? They thought they were fat, dumb, and happy on the corporate plantation, and then boom, just like that, it can be zapped out from under you. And what do you do? What do you have? What do you have to fall back on? So even if you are, and I'm not knocking corporation, the corporate structure, but you're never gonna get ahead. You're gonna be just over broke. That's what job stands for. Paycheck to paycheck, just over broke. You're never gonna make it rich. You're never gonna be a millionaire. I guarantee you, the upper 1%, they're not teaching their kids to go get a job. They're telling them to own it. They own jobs. And so
and that's interesting that you say that, because I've gotten to know Forbes Riley very well, and I watch her and I listen to her stories, and she's actually teaching her children to be entrepreneurs at a young age. She used to take her daughter on set with her when she went to go make movies and stuff. And when she was a teenager, I think 9 years old, she actually had a conversation with people on the set, telling them how they can make themselves better, telling them, actually her product line, she has a spin gym. So she actually saved them money on their spin gym just by listening to their stories all these years. And and today she has expanded her corporation. So yes. So we need to start doing that more.
Yes.
And I believe it's maybe because she was in her 40s when she started having children, and we're younger. We don't know any better.
Right. Well, man, that's the thing. We don't know any better. And that's why at this point in my life, I want to talk to anybody who will listen to me, even if they shut me down. It's almost like this is my ministry or something. Just like, and then I'm a card carrying born again Christian, proud of it. I know this is, an era of political correctness, so I'm not going to go too far into that. But I'm just going to say that, without God on my side, I know I wouldn't be where I am.
Well, let me tell you this. If they don't want to hear about God, they can turn us off, because that's one thing we know. We know if it wasn't for him, we would not be here. Amen. So no, ma'am, don't ever shut God off because of a platform.
Right. Okay. I don't have a closet. I can't hide to God. I swear. It's been too good to me. Part of here. But no.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
We would love to have you on our show. Here at Bossed Up Leaders, Inc., we take pride in elevated women by providing a platform to have a voice and promote their business or service. Our core values are accountability, growth, balance, leadership, community, and entrepreneurship. We would love for you to be on our show. If you are interested in being on the show, please go to bossstupleaders.org.
Bossed Up Lead Hers Incorporated is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation with a mission to eliminate stereotypes amongst women and girls in the workplace, schools, and communities, while providing a sanctuary to produce intentional growth, success, and significance. Generate essential resources to elevate women and girls to an entrepreneurial mindset and executive leadership. Our amazing team of regulars and part-time volunteers are committed to helping others. We take our convictions and turn them into action. Think you would be a good fit? Get in touch for more information. If you wish to find out more or donate to help with our cause, go to bossdupleadhers.org.
We are back. We are here with our special guest, Miss Denise Murphy. Woo, if y'all have not been listening, y'all need to find the podcast on this one. She has been spilling the juice, the tea, everything on finances and on marriage. Woo, I need to hear that one.
I'm not certified in that area. I'm just a user. You know?
Okay, you stated that you were a techie. You're in the technology field.
Yes.
What would you tell young women or young girls or women, period, about that field and the importance of checking it out?
Oh, wow. That's another platform of mine. Well, first of all, too, I'm going to lead by saying this. I 3 years ago, a church a fellow church member asked me, she's a teacher. She's a school teacher. And she teaches at a school here in Fayetteville, and she said that she's every year they go to this they have this science Olympiads. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. It's like a yearly science fair, for the whole state participates in it, and the I think it's just elementary school or maybe middle school. But anyway, she said I'm tired. She said, Denise, I'm tired of every year we go there and we don't even place, we don't even we don't win anything. And, I'm trying to think of a way to get the kids motivated or just do something. So I'm convinced that, maybe I need somebody from the outside. So she said, I know you, because, she knows me from church. She said, I know you got something to do with IT or computers or something. And so would you be a coach, a volunteer coach for our Science Olympiad team? And so I said, I don't know. Me and kids, because by this time, this is before I had my new grandbabies. My oldest granddaughter, she was in high school, and I said, I don't really relate good to kids, elementary school kids, and I'll try it, okay. And so it was a programming. It was called Pro Gamers, and the object was. Of my team was to teach the kids how to use this it's called Scratch software. It's a programming software developed by MIT, especially for kids, though, to kind of whet their appetite and get them interested in technology and computers and things like that. And so I volunteered. We met once a week for about 4 months, and starting from scratch, this is a computer, And so long story short, well, it's already long, but we formed our team. We went the first year, and then they had the competition near the end of the school year. I think it was in late May. And so we went to Raleigh, with all the other schools and everything. And so for the first time, in the school's history, they placed. They didn't win first place or nothing, but they placed. They came in third, and the kids were just so elated that they that they got the recognition. Their names were called. They were just so excited about that, and so that motivated them to keep on going. And so the next year, we had a team, and then last year before COVID hit, our team took first place. These were kids who weren't even on the map, 5 years ago, and they came and took first place. And it's a matter of showing, and the first team was all male. The second 4, and it's only 4 in a team. and they had to compete for those positions. The second team was 2 males and 2 females. Because I said, I'm here. I did the first team, but I said, I'm not doing it. The second year, I said, I'm not doing it unless there's some girls on the team. I'm sorry. And so we got 50-50. We got 2 girls and 2 boys. The third team, 3 girls and a boy. These were girls who they shied away from math. They said, we can't, I can't do it. I said, don't ever say that. I said, I don't know who's feeding you that Kool-Aid, but don't drink it. You can do anything you set your mind to. And these girls were sharp and they had the potential, but they had it in their mind because they had been beat down and told by the establishment that they couldn't do it. This isn't a place for a girl. Girls, go over there and, do something, with whatever. But, this is man's work, and I refused to accept that. I was told that when I was in junior high school. I refused to accept it. And anytime I run into a young girl who says that, I go out of my way to change her mind and say, don't you accept that. And then I'll pro gamers team. I convinced them, once I convinced them to come on the team, and then they started just flourishing. And then that built their confidence. And so I guess what I have to say is, don't let anybody tell you what you can't do. Now, if you decide you don't want to do it, that's one thing. But don't let anybody tell you what you can't do. Because you can do anything if you want it bad enough. If you desire it. Even sometimes desire will sometimes trump ability, natural ability. And so if you've got the desire, sky's the limit.
Yes, I'm glad you said that, because with me, I always look for potential. I don't always promote or hire the best of the best as far as knowledge wise. No, you have to fit into the environment. And exactly. Yes. And one thing that I've noticed is a lot of people will let bad apples just sit. And what does that do for the rest of us?
It spreads like bots.
Yes. Yes.
And I hate to say it, but that is I see that I've seen a lot of that in the corporate. In the corporate structure, but also in the federal government. I hate to say it, but it's true. It's true.
And so what would you say about being a Black female in the IT world?
Oh, man.
How, yeah.
Talk about it.
Three of us on this platform are in IT. We're Black females. Woo.
If you can endure, if you can stay in there long enough, be prepared for an uphill battle, because you're always going to be underestimated, undervalued, and overworked. But if it's something, I enjoyed it. And so I knew the battles that I was facing, and more often than not, I was sometimes the only minority, the only Black person, and sometimes I was the only female. So I'm in a world of Caucasian men. And so naturally, they look at you, they think, okay, who left the gate open? How'd she get in here? Must be some affirmative action, something or another. Not knowing I had to work probably 10 times as hard as you did just to make it to the gate, because you were given certain the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to say naturally, sometimes privilege comes in there too, but at least you were given the benefit of the doubt. But negativity, as soon as they saw my Black face, they got defensive, and oh no, we're gonna have to take her by the hand and lead her. And no, I know more than you.
Did you ever get the reaction of, oh, well, you're only here to meet quota?
Yes. Oh yeah. Exactly. Affirmative action. Yeah. You must be the.
How about you, Tiffany?
You're that Negro.
And look at her head. She was like, she was like.
Oh man. And one thing though, just to tell, just to show you how people in general just accept the stereotype. When I was at Hewlett Packard, I was a senior because I started off in the field, as a field techie, a field rep, going to customer sites, fixing their computers. And so I was a senior. I was a senior field tech. So I had we had a new guy join our team, tall, 6 foot, blonde hair, blue eyes. He was cute, I gotta admit, but but that's beside the point. But anyway, I had to take him around, and train him, show him, because I was going to, we were understaffed, and so everybody had, a big caseload. So I wanted to make sure he was trained well, so he could take over some of these cases, because I just had too many. So we're out in the field, we're going to this customer site. We're there. And so the business owner, it was some corporation. This is out in Silicon Valley, out in San Jose, California. So the business owner, so they immediately start talking to who knows who. But they immediately start talking to him, telling him the problem and, asking him. And so he's looking all confused. So he said, "Oh no, I'm a trainee. This is Denise Murphy. She's the senior tech here." So, and they, if you could have seen their face, I mean, but that's every day. That's the everyday thing, and it bothers you, but you can't let it stop your resolve, because you know what you know, and what your mission is, what your goal is, and you got to grow a thick skin, but at the same time, there's a delicate balance there, because you don't want to change who you are. Like, you don't want to become bitter and then take that bitterness out on other people, So it's a delicate balance. So, and that's where my faith came in. God, boy, sometimes I would go into my car and I say, "God, help me. I need you. Give me the strength." And God knew He was doing, because He knew that He had to prune me and mold me and bend me to get me to where I am today. Because this is the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm doing what I love to do, and like I said, it's like a ministry to me, and my ministry is perfectly in line with God, with God's ministry, to help people, who don't, shield them from hurt, harm, and danger when you can. If you're going forward, reach back and bring somebody up with you. So I'm doing what I love to do, and God is what He ordains, He'll sustain, and He is sustaining me, and then some. And the best is yet to be. This is the tip of the iceberg. Mark my word.
Take us to church for real.
Look, I know. I say she dropping nuggets, testimony. Bring it on.
Oh, I'm jumping down like, yes.
I can't stay still.
I'm glad it's having that effect. That's how I'm feeling. That's how I felt for these past, at least for the past year. Like I said, when I left my government job, I had to detox for about a year, because it was just so much stuff, so much junk, that I went through in that past year before I retired. And so I just took a year off. And so really the beginning of this year, 2020, is when I really ramped up both businesses, and I haven't looked back. And in the midst of COVID, I have done better. I have done better these last 3 months than the first 3 months of the year. And maybe it's momentum, because it's more time. But you hear people, well, naturally, but I'm not a big business. I'm not a brick and mortar. And that's another thing. the financial services industry, they've finally come into the 21st century, and that most things are everything can be done electronically, just about. There's no need, and especially with the type of business that I'm doing, everything, e-signatures, electronic, and if and they can find out all about your health and everything. So now 9 times out of 10, you don't even need a blood and urine or a paramed exam, because they're all of your, well, not all the time, but 90% of my cases, they don't even require medical, a physical, a physical in person physical, because they can gather everything they need from your medical files. You have to give, your HIPAA authorization and all that. But and so yes, these last couple of months I've been on fire, busy, and it doesn't look like it's going to let up through the end of the year. And the good news is, like I said, I'm going to Maryland to play grandma, but I can do everything that I'm doing here, I can do in Maryland. So
yes,
I'm not missing a beat. So wow. So that's where I am. Oh.
Well, that is a lot. I mean, you're amazing. I'm just gonna say it. You're amazing. Cause in it's been 40 minutes that we've been talking, and I'm like, we need to have a one-on-one, and I need to sit down with you, and I need to share some of your knowledge with the world too. So
Wow, thank you.
Definitely, yeah, we're gonna have to have you back. I'm just saying.
Okay. Oh, you know what? There's one thing I want to, or how much time do we have?
Oh, we have another about 19 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to just draw awareness to, and I know everybody knows about it, but I just want to, pay tribute to, or give it the attention that it deserves. The fact that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I just wanted to tie that into what I do in the insurance business. Well, first of all, I want to run a few statistics by you, and we're talking about empowering women, and so I just found this out. I knew the numbers were somewhere up there, but I didn't really know they were this high. A study that was done by one of my insurance carriers. Well, first of all, let me just explain. When I say carrier, I'm an independent broker, but I'm appointed or licensed with several different companies. So I'm not a captive agent. Like some insurance companies, you work for them and you work for them alone. I'm a broker, and I choose, which companies I want to get contracted with based on what products they offer, so that I can have a wide variety of products, so that I can basically have something for everybody. There's some companies, who specialize in one little niche market, but what about the other 80% of the population? So I didn't want to box myself in, so that's why I became an independent broker. And so some of the companies that I'm with, Mutual of Omaha, Allianz, Mass Mutual, MetLife, Prudential, Illinois Mutual, Guardian, Foster's, AIG, Fidelity, Great Western, Gerber, Phoenix, Transamerica, Sagicor. And I don't have to pay anything to those companies. I just have to have an active license in the state that I write business in, and all my marketing material is free. I just have to bring them business, and I do, because that's enough companies, that's enough variety, such that I can serve just about anybody that I run into. But anyway, so one of these companies, I'm not sure which one, but one of them put out these statistics on life insurance and how the need is so great among women. And they said that 49% of childless married women have no insurance. 43% of married mothers of married women with children have no life insurance. And 59% of unmarried mothers have no life insurance. That means that those children have no safety net. They're the sole provider and they're not insured. what's going to happen to those kids? They're going to end up in the system. Nobody likes to think about death, but it's a part of life. It's a fact of life. We don't like to think about it, but we should prepare for it. And that's another one of my passions. That's another one of my missions. And one of the companies that I'm most recently licensed with, as a matter of fact, I'm still going through the training for their products. They offer what's called living benefits. So it's my new one of my slogans is life insurance. You don't have to die to use. So you might say, well, what does that mean? How can that be? Well, it's set up such that you take out a policy, it has a death benefit. Let's say $200,000 is the death benefit. You pay a premium, for that amount of coverage, and that's going to vary depending on your age, your gender, and the state that you live in. Those are the three things that go into determining the amount of premium. So let's say you have a $200,000 death benefit. You're a mother. You're married, and you have 2 children. You work a job. So you find out that you're diagnosed with breast cancer. Now, not all breast cancer is fatal, thank God. But, you've got to check it out. Now health insurance, that'll pay for the actual medical expenses, but you're a major breadwinner. You're for the mortgage and the light bill and the food. So if you've got to stop your job and you run out of sick leave, or you don't have sick leave, or whatever the situation is, that's going to have a financial impact on your family. So what living benefits does for you, it allows you to accelerate a portion of your death benefit, of the $200,000 that's your death benefit. Say, what if you need, experimental treatment, or something, or you need to go to, another state for treatment? Who's going to pay those expenses? Insurance won't pay for it. They'll pay for the medical. They say, okay, you get there, we'll pay for you. But, who's going to pay for you to get there? Who's going to pick up the bill for your mortgage in the meantime while you're off work for 6 months? So living benefits pays a portion of your death benefit to you in hand, for you to do with as you please. You can pay your mortgage. You can get that experimental treatment in Denver or Cayman Islands or wherever they're offering it. This is money for you, and it's tax free because it's part of a death benefit. So this is my new platform, because people don't know about this. People don't know about living benefits. Another one of my slogans, I say, it's not your daddy's life insurance. It's not the old school life insurance. The companies have come into the 21st century. They're slow to change, but they realize, 2 income households, one of those individuals suffers a catastrophic illness, that family is doomed pretty much. And especially in the era of COVID, we've paid out claims for people with COVID who have living benefits. We've paid them, given them whatever amount they want, and it varies from company to company as far as how much, money, or how much you can, the percentage that you can accelerate the benefits. But what happens if you have $200,000 policy, you need $100,000 to take care of your expenses and your mortgage and your household expenses and get treatment. Okay, that other $100,000, that's that still stays in the policy for your death benefit. But you have this bucket of cash that you can take care of your family, you can treatment that you need, and without having to worry about finances, don't you think that would probably increase your chances of recovering from whatever it is, that got you down in the first place? Now this isn't just this isn't just based on your say so. You have to have a documentation from a doctor, stating that you're diagnosed with one of these diseases, and this isn't an all-inclusive list, but I know for a fact that cancer, stroke, and heart attack are three of the diagnoses that will enable you to accelerate, your death benefit and get some of that money while you're living to help you, recover and get back on your feet. So that's my new soapbox. Living benefits for everyone.
Wow, I think I need me some living benefits.
I'm in shock right now.
I ain't trying to pre-diagnose myself, but yes,
you don't want to get sick, but if you do get sick, you want to know that you can be made whole again without filing bankruptcy.
Yeah, because I heard of like Aflac. When you get sick or you get hospitalized, they'll pay some of your bills. They'll give you a check. But like you said, I've never heard of living benefit.
Yeah. Actually, Aflac is a good company too. I used to sell their product.
Mm-hmm.
But that's accident insurance. And a lot of other companies sell it, but Aflac, they got the market cornered in that advertising. Mm-hmm. Everybody does that.
Yeah.
But okay.
I am really in shock right now. I'm like, you have really educated us. I'm like, I've known about the technology side, but the rest, you are really a serialpreneur. Like, man.
Yeah. It's in my blood, I think. I don't know. I can't say that. Well, yeah, my dad, he was that way. Well, he was God rest his soul. He started as a janitor at General Electric, one of the first in Philadelphia, one of the first blacks to be hired by General Electric in any capacity. And he was a janitor, but he had such a quest for knowledge. He would talk to the engineers and they'd show him stuff. He had my dad had a workshop in our basement where he built stuff, built motors and out of little scraps of not paper, but metal and screws. It's funny because when me and my husband got married, we were going somewhere and it was me and him and my dad my dad stopped in the middle of the street and picked up this screw. I said, I can use this. And he did. And my husband, he teased me about that to this day. He said, man, that ain't no such thing as one man's trash is another man's treasure. I said, yeah. And I think he used that. I think he used that screw to build something with it. I don't know. But so yeah, wow. I think I got that honestly. Yeah.
Man, yes, we would have to have you back. As a matter of fact, you need to join Bull. We need to add you to our team, Bossed Up Leaders, our nonprofit. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And man, and your daughter. What was that?
But if you think I can add value, if I can save some people from getting into credit card debt, hey.
Man,
oh Lord! Did you pay credit card debt to those insurance? Did they pay it off? Did the insurance companies pay off the debt too?
No, not yet. Maybe in the next. They're not there yet. I'll put that in the box. So, yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
So, real quick, how do you balance it all?
Well, it was harder when the kids were small. Even though, there again, I have to say, and I'm not. I don't want to put this out there. I don't want too many people to know about this, but my husband, he is great around. I do not do laundry. My husband does laundry. We had our washer and dryer for 6 months before I knew how to use it.
Look at Tracy's face like, what?
Tracy don't do this day.
Look, Miss Denise and Miss Murphy, don't feel bad. I don't cook, so
I'm about to say I don't cook either. So my husband,
Why do all of whatever?
I cook. That's the one thing he won't do. But he'll do the dishes if I cook. So
wow.
But no, we've always balanced. And seriously though, I mean, well, that's true. But there's never been such a thing as woman's work or man's work in our house, because I'll just as soon as cut the grass, and he'll do laundry. And so just being flexible and, and that's how my kids, are, and my daughter, she'll fix a car in a minute. Her boyfriend, when she was dating, before she got married, her boyfriends were always stunned. They didn't know where the battery was, but she showed them to clean this battery cable. She'll flip the lid and flip the hood and get her little battery cleaner, cable cleaner thingy. and her boyfriend's standing there. So, but I just think it's just, keeping don't put the blinders on, just keep an open mind, and as long as it's not illegal, immoral, or fattening, then it's probably okay.
So how can everyone get in touch with you?
Okay. Well, I you know what? I don't know my phone numbers, but people aren't good at that anyway. But my website, on both of my websites, I have a contact us page. And so my one website for the graphic design is squarebizservices.com. And my financial services, my insurance website is dtmfinancialsvcs.com. So that's services is spelled out. And then dtmfinancialsvcs.com. And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram under the business names, or Denise Murphy. If you look up Denise Murphy, you'll be able to find one there. So.
Wow. I have enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. I don't know. I've been looking at your pictures, but I'm realizing I should be looking in the camera. So if it looks like I'm looking down, I'm okay. I'm looking.
I think y'all doing it. Mm-hmm.
Karen, Tiffany, y'all want to say anything? Closing remarks? Tiffany's still in shock. She like.
Look, I love the finances. I'm all about finances, so I'm loving it. And I'm aware of the insurance thing. I haven't really talked to anyone about it, but like I have policies, and I had a near-death experience or whatever with my kids. And because I've always carried insurance, not just on me, but also on my kids, I had a come to Jesus meeting in the hospital. And so I feel like it was very important for me to let my kids know about my policies, how to access it, where all of my information was. And I'm with you to the point that, a lot of families don't have that access or that knowledge of. They're not aware of it. Right. So, I appreciate you for, speaking out and having the passion to teach people and share that knowledge with them. Thank you.
You're welcome. Pleasure's mine. It really is. And I get such joy out of spreading the word. So.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. It's a lot of women, single parents, that do not have the basic, the monetary gains. They don't have the money to pay for insurance, and I know it's policies out there that will benefit them or that can match their pockets or what they can do. It's people like you, that you educate them, and if they are in a place to where they do not know how to budget, I'm pretty sure you guide them to say, hey, take away this and you can add this.
Right.
So that education piece is so important when you're talking to these young single mothers, you know, and educating them and enlightening them on the way forward, you know. So I really do appreciate that, you know, you telling your story and you expressing how passionate you are about this and how so important it is to have this in your life. So I do thank you for that, you know.
You're welcome.
Yes. And you guys, thank you for listening to us. Thrive Talk with TKT. See you next Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks again.
Thank you for listening to Thrive Talk with TKT, where Dr. Tracy Lashley, Miss Karen Hines, aka Coach K, and Mrs. Tiffany Myers speak on and to leaders, influencers, and motivators who share journeys in personal and professional growth, teamwork, business tips, life lessons, and the mindset for success to elevate their life. Follow the ladies on all social media platforms at BOSSDUPLEADHERZ and visit www.bossdupleadherz.org. Remember to always walk in your purpose and eliminate self-doubt.